The year is 1772, and Yves-Joseph de Kerguelen-Trémarec spots islands in the distance. The next day, he lands on them with his ship, Fortune, and orders his lieutenant to leave a message stating, "These islands belong to France and no one else." Shortly after, he returns to France, where he describes the islands as vast, fertile, forested, and rich in precious metals. As a result, Louis XV commissions him for a second expedition. Upon his return, Louis discovers that Kerguelen has lied. He never actually set foot on the islands. His lieutenant had only sent a message in a bottle. Furthermore, it was revealed that Kerguelen had engaged in the slave trading during his journey, leading to his conviction and a 6-year prison sentence. Even though the island was not actually rich in precious metals, it turned out to be quite an interesting place. The islands have a tundra to polar climate. In the warmest months, temperatures reach around 10 degrees Celsius, making the climate comparable to that of an Iceland. They consist of one large island and about 300 smaller islands. There are no airports on the islands, so transportation is handled by ships. The coastal areas of the island, up to 50 meters, are covered with herbaceous vegetation. In higher altitudes, only mosses and lichens grow. However, one unique plant, known as Kerguelen Cabbage, is found on the islands. It can grow up to half a meter in height and is rich in potassium. Sailors used it as a dietary supplement to prevent scurvy. Unlike terrestrial vegetation, which is poorly developed, marine flora thrives due to the presence of large kelp forests. Some of the world's largest seaweeds grow here, reaching lengths up to 50 meters or 164 feet. These seaweeds often extend to the surface, making navigation difficult when they entangle ship propellers. The islands are located beyond the Antarctic Convergence, a region where warm and cold waters mix. This leads to a high concentration of plankton and krill, supporting a unique fish population found nowhere else. Thanks to these currents, seals, seabirds, and penguins thrive here. From the time of its discovery until the early 20th century, the islands was mainly used by whalers and seal hunters who drove these species to the brink of extinction. Meanwhile, mice and rats established themselves on the islands pretty well. Since then, seal and elephant seal have slowly begun to recover. The islands are home to several species of penguins, 5 species of albatrosses, and many other. One of the rarest species here is the sooty albatross. The islands are surrounded by various dolphin species, orcas, humpback whales, and southern right whales. Access to some islands is prohibited as they are designated nature reserves preserved exclusively for wildlife. Several new species of beetles have also been discovered on some of these islands. During World War II, a German soldier died while painting the chimney of the ship Atlantis and was buried here. His grave is considered the southernmost German war grave. There are no permanent residents, only a research station inhabited by 45 to 100 soldiers and scientists since 1950. There have been several attempts to raise livestock on the islands. The least problematic case is a flock of sheep imported from France, now numbering around 3,500. They serve as a meat supply for research expeditions and survive despite the harsh conditions, which cause about 25% of lambs to die right after birth. Nevertheless, this is the largest population of bisset sheep in the world. In the 19th century, several rabbits were introduced as a potential food source for shipwreck survivals. However, they reproduced at an explosive rate, as rabbits do. To this day, they contribute to soil erosion and have completely devoured Kerguelen cabbage on some of the islands. Several attempts have been made to eradicate them using viruses, but the rabbits have developed full resistance. A few cats were also introduced to control the mouse and rat populations. However, this backfired, and today there are over 3,500 feral cats on the island. In addition to rodents, they also hunt local bird species. Islands overrun with cats are a common issue today. The Japanese island of Tashirojima has fewer than 100 human residents but hundreds of cats. Similarly, Greek islands are well known for cats. While this may seem cute to us humans, it severely impacts local biodiversity. In 1956, a Norwegian-Swedish expedition introduced 10 reindeer to one of the islands. However, they swam across the strait and multiplied to a population of 4,000, consuming most of the island's vegetation. A pair of mouflons were introduced. Today, there are more than 300 of these animals. Between 1852 and 1951, feral dogs lived on the islands, having arrived with the whalers, but they have not been seen since. In 1948, mules were brought to Port of Juancé, where they lived for 5 years. There is even a record of Shetland ponies being sighted on the islands in the 1950s. Most human activities on the island today focus on geological and biological research. In the past, research rockets were launched from the island, but today the site is used for research radar studying plasma in the ionosphere. There is also a satellite calibration station and a rocket tracking station. In conclusion, these islands provide a clear example of why extensive hunting and invasive species are so dangerous to the ecosystem. In the past, such activities led to the extinction or endangerment of countless species worldwide. Today, we have various regulations and laws in place to protect these species and their environments, allowing them to thrive once more.